Hello everybody, this is Shinjin, yet again bringing you another video. This time, plus our Baiken FRCs. Again, first and foremost, thank you to the GGPO team for bringing us a new wave of excitement for this old game. It's pretty cool, I must admit. Also, I'm gonna be rocking the Mitch Murder soundtrack here. So if you dig the tunes, just Google Mitch Murder and buy his stuff, I guess. Right, okay, so Baiken has 10 different FRCs. Different uses, different timings, different examples. So I'm gonna be going through them one by one pretty much. Working through, well, mentioning their timing, mentioning their different uses, and providing you a couple of examples. So, without further ado, we in the previous video already talked about some of the combo uses, so will there be some overlap here for sure. Again, I'm doing this quick and dirty for myself at least. Really work is appreciated. So anyways, jump test. Yes, jump test, FRC timing 9 to 11, so it's 3 frames. It can be used for combos, it can be used to make combos burst proof, and it can be used for mix-ups. So that's the 3 that we're gonna go through right now. Nothing too difficult to grasp here, you just use the FRC to extend your combo. Boom. And then air dash tatami, or kida tatami rather. So, I'm not gonna talk too much about that one. Next, again, another combo example. Jump dust. Used to just give you some more routes, basically. And here, I guess you could, you know, in the best scenario, be closer to the corner and do another combo, but since you're too far away here, jump test becomes a really useful way of just making sure you get a knockdown. So that's pretty good as well. I mentioned burst proof as well, another option. So now you're going to really buffer a block after the FRC. And confirm accordingly. So the full segment looks looks something like that, but the key point here is just talking about how jump dust can make things burst proof. So that part. Okay, 5S, we talked about this confirm, jump dust, block, and then a punish. I guess what should be mentioned here is that since you're buffering a block here, you're not doing an instant kida tatami afterwards. So you kinda opt for worse combo options if you don't have godlike reaction time, which I don't. Never had, can't even blame it on age. Yeah, so this is just one scenario where it can happen, but you can use it, of course, when you're doing combos in the corner. Anything that's jump cancelable into jump dust, you can make burst proof in this type of way. Cool. Cool. Next we have Tatami FRCs. I talked about most of these combo tools before, so this is an old clip. I had it in the previous video. Nothing really to mention, you just use FRC to get this combo actually functioning, and the same goes for this one. Yeah, again, nothing really more to add than in my previous video on Baiken combos and enders. So let's talk about something more interesting that I haven't mentioned. Air tatami. Again, we saw that it had combo uses, but there's also some mix-up uses as well versus some of the cast. What you're gonna see here is now a cross-up. For those that play Baiken or played against Baiken Xrd, you should be familiar with the idea. So it's gonna be just a knockdown into jump Tatami FRC cross-up. And then just a random convert and combo from there. What could be mentioned here also that because this FRC is not affected by hit stop, timing that is, it gets sort of a different timing pretty much than when you do it in a combo with hit stop. So just a little bit of new things to learn here, but it's a 2-frame window, so kind of difficult. But that's one of the other uses. I'm just gonna rip the clip, rock again, get your standard sort of knockdown situation, get a cross up with that. Again, why this doesn't work versus the entire cast has to do with rise up, cross up protection. There's a couple of frames, I don't know exactly how many, but you can't be immediately crossed up when rising up, pretty much. Triple Tatami, right. Force break Tatami also has an FRC point. I don't really use this one, but I guess it can be mentioned that it has an FRC point and that it can be used for mid-screen combos when you poke with it. So these ones, again, the ones that has to do with combos aren't really too much to talk about. These are just some examples. PC. What else? What else? Yes, her Baiken, her counters. I can talk about Baiken without talking about counters. Sakura has one. Frame 10 to 11, so it's sort of quick. 2-frame window. Here you'll see just like the basic usage. You have the counter poke range where you kind of want to threaten them with Sakura. This is so quick in this game, you can counter poke fairly successfully at this range without being scared of other attacks hitting you. And then you go for just standard combo. When you're closer to the opponent, you can skip the FRC sometimes, so this is mainly for this type of spacing. Yep. What else? What else? Sakura FRC safe. What was this clip? Oh yeah. So you can obviously bait all of her counters, but utilizing FRC can make them safe. So this is a classic bait. You do warrant versus counter. What he does is he hits his attack, he cancels this move into warrant, grabs Sakura, but Baiken FRC so she can block, and then a full punish. So, again, fairly straightforward logic. Of course, you can do combos as well. I wouldn't really recommend this at all, but it does have a wall slam property. So, my suggestion to you is never use Sakura FRC in a combo. It scales damage too much and it's too specific, and you would rather go for other options than Sakura FRC. So, skip that one. That's my recommendation. Next counter, Zakuro, the Anti-Air counter. And mainly a combo tool, really, so only for combo uses. Frame 12 to 13, 2-frame window. I would suggest at least having it for many hit combos, sort of like this one. Again, this FRC is mainly a combo tool, so use it accordingly. That's one of its uses. Another one that has to do with it as a combo tool can be seen here. This is going to be an unblockable setup, also available in the previous video on combos and enders. And then just a straightforward combo. The interesting part here is just to mention this part, right? Cross up into, and you don't really need to do cross up, you can just be getting the Zakuro, hit them facing the corner, so it's a pretty good tool to have in the toolbox. Oren also has a FRC. This is mainly for movement, escaping or sniping. 3 frame 4 to 6, so it's pretty quick FRC. Run away. There's no invulnerability frames here, so it's just knowing if and when you can use it. And I think it's only useful versus characters with all these type of setups, like Venom and Dizzy. Otherwise you can go for other counters instead. Perhaps Eddie might also be useful. Haven't played this game in a while. If you want to be silly, I guess you can use it to snipe as well for the movement, but not really super useful. So Oren FRC is kind of a swaggy thing. You can do fraudulent pressure strings with it as well, but I would recommend not really prioritizing it. So you've probably seen this with Mawarikomi, just whiff punishing moves with it. Whiff, punish, boom, a lot of damage. Mawarikomi has a FRC timing as well. It's very late, 21 to 23, 3 frame window. But you can use it to make this sort of whiff punish thing easier. So that's it for that. Only 2 more to go. That's a Sanzan Kabaddi follow-up, that is. Frame 12 to 13, 2 frames. Mainly a combo tool, but I would recommend you not really focus on this one either. It's only useful versus lights, I think. So if you really want to squeeze out damage in this type of scenario, you could use it. But versus midweight characters and heavyweight characters, you don't really need to do the FRC. Just do Sanzan 2-hit into immediate jump dust FRC. That saves you to 50% meter. You could make the argument that it can be used for pressure as well. I don't really think it's super useful. You see there's a gap, and even if you do get it, it's not like Third where you get tons of time to just run in and do whatever. There's no slowdown, so there's still quite some gap there, so wouldn't really recommend it that way. Finally, Sanzan FRC, everyone's favorite. This one is really quick, frame 3 to 4, only a 2 frame window. I tend to use negative edge input Sanzan to do this, and I tend to FRC with punch slash and heavy slash to not get an accidental tatami. We'll get back to that later. It does alter your movement, gives it sort of a forward propelling motion, and this can be used in different ways. Of course, you can just cancel a Sanzan to get that rising startup. Maybe we'll do with the overhead example. That's pretty straightforward. It's sort of a pretty okay-ish overhead, but I'm not too big of a fan. But it became better in plus R because you can do this type of combo. If you feel like using it, go ahead. Kind of cool, so that's always a plus. This is sort of a late game meta thing also, but you can use it to use the same idea, Tiger ni Sanzan FRC, to get a low air dash, which sort of counters the opponent just holding down back, which avoids every instant air dash attack other than jump heavy. So it could sort of look like this. Then you can see that it sort of hits crouching state opponent, not every character obviously. You can see Mawarikomi doing this one, I guess he's most famous for it. That's why we in Sweden call it Mawarikomi dash. If you're really skillful at it, you can do it raw also. I think I tweeted a clip where he does it versus NO in an SBO match. Pretty much baiting that NO would just crouch any instant air dash as a default and just tagging him with a Mawarikomi dash jump slash, so it's pretty cool. Pretty cool, but again, not really useful in most metas. This one, dead angle bait, I think can be used. So maybe they feel like, oh shit, I don't want to block this pressure string that's gonna happen. Dead angle quickly. Oop. Jump over. Basic combo. The end. And then finally, this is my last clip of this video. It has to do with utilizing that momentum switch that I talked about, and also the other input of FRCing, that is with kick slash and heavy slash, so you can get a negative edge tatami mat as well. Do it like this. So let's say we did this burst proof starter, right? We had to hold back for a little moment, so we can't do the instant kira tatami. And here, our tatami would whiff if we just did a normal tatami. It's too far away, pretty much. But as you will see, when you do your Sanzan FRC, you get the forward momentum, and when you cancel that into a tatami mat, you get a tatami mat from that momentum as well. So, result, you get a combo where you probably, where you couldn't have gotten one otherwise. Which is super maniac, super technical, but it is useful if you wanna close out matches with these very specific combos that might not work otherwise. So let's have a look with the full segment. Lock, extend. And again, this part of the video is very maniacal, really, because it's only me and Mawarikomi really that uses this, or use this hashtag. This game. Pretty old by now. So in Sweden, we sort of jokingly call it change and extend, or used to way back when. It looks cool, it's Sanzan FRC, it has some uses, nobody else did it back then. It works in plus R, feel free to learn and use it. Cool. So that's it for me today in this little video. Thank you for watching, support, give a lot of thank you tweets to people that were involved in the GGPO project, fans and maybe some staff at ArcSys, I don't know. Tweet at them, tweet about them, share the job, love the joy. And yeah, the tunes were Mitch Murder, and please continue to explore. I just presented a couple of examples. Would love to hear more thoughts, more ideas of how to use. And again, combos could be optimized more, but heck, I just wanted to get this video out there. Boom. So without further ado, bye bye.